What's going on, everyone? Cannabis Express 420 here. Today I want to get into the topic of training, specifically talking about the difference between regular topping and micro topping. Topping, I learned very early on in my career, and in fact it was the learning stage before I ever started growing. I knew what topping was. I knew that decapitating your plant could potentially help it, but I've never actually seen it in practice at that point. And then micro topping is something I learned during my growing. When I first got into watching Pigeon's 420 content, he introduced me to the concept of micro topping, and that was the primary topping I used after learning about it. And I gotta tell you, I think it works really well. So what's the difference? What are these things? What are the pros and cons? Let's get into it. In the growing community, we have all made up a significant amount of the ways we grow, and training is one of those ways. And there are a lot of things we do that are similar but different. If there are two training techniques you want me to cover, if you want to watch a series about training techniques that are similar but different and then weighing the pros and the cons, go ahead, let me know in the comment section, give your suggestions below. I would gladly look into them, and hey, enjoy the video. So first I want to get into topping. What is it, and what are the pros and what are the cons? When you go and talk about topping, you are removing a significant portion of the plant. And what portion is this? Roughly, it is the part of the stem underneath the leaf set that is underneath your node. And it can also be directly under the node. However, if you're going to do a quality topping, I recommend taking off a little bit more. Having a thicker stem at that base of the top is going to give it a lot more to hold on to. And that's actually one of the pros of the topping. Now, what this actually does is it will cut off a portion of your plant and it will expose nodes that are underneath the top level. What this will also do is it will stunt your growth. And the principle behind topping, both micro and regular topping, is to expand the amount of tops you have on your plant, as well as temporarily stunting the growth to equalize the growth structure. So if you're going for that dinner plate shape that we're going for to maximize your tops and make your plant flat, potentially for a scrog, that's one of the things you could do. And another is low stress training, but we talk about that in so many other videos, man. We don't need to cover it here. What is the con, the biggest con of regular topping? Well, it's mostly the wound shape. It is a lot larger than a micro topping. So as you're doing rounds and rounds of topping and you're cutting more and more and more of that plant, you could see a significant stunt in the growth. It could only be a couple days, but a couple days of vegging, it makes a lot. So if you are okay with expanding your veg stage to compensate for the fact that you are topping and you want to maximize the amounts of colas that you have on your plants, go ahead and do some regular topping. Make sure you have plenty of biomass for your stem to grow onto. You don't want that top to split. Now, let's talk about micro topping real quick. Micro topping is when you take just the starting point of the node. So as you go into your plant, you can see those leaves starting to grow up top, and they're touching right on the top of the plant, especially in the veg stage. This is very apparent. What you're going to want to do is you're going to take those tiny leaves and you're going to spread them apart. And then there might be a second set you also need to spread apart. And then at this point, you are looking at the node you need to remove, and you can simply pluck it off, just pull it off the top of the plant. It is a very low invasive surgery to your plant. The biggest pro of micro topping is you make a small wound. Micro topping, wow. First off, to ensure that you get the same result as the topping. And when you do a micro topping, you can risk breaking your stem. At the same time, you don't have as strong of a bond of a point there. You're going to be building up a lot of leverage as that stem grows. That could potentially cause a split, and also it increases your split rate when you're doing normal low stress training or trying to bend your plant over in any sort of way. Manipulating your plant after that growth increases the risk of splitting, which can be a problem, especially when you're like mid-flower. You could be losing a significant portion of that plant. So weigh the pros and the cons. If you have a scrog net, you probably don't have much to worry about. What do you do in your garden? Do you microtop or do you stick to regular topping? What would you recommend to a friend? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know about your topping experiences. And hey, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much.